12 months ago in Spain, it was China who won the lightweight quadruple sculls.
Well, the British broke the record in the heats earlier on in the regatta, but that was due partly to nice conditions, wind blowing along with a bit of a stream running after the typhoon last week. But they're a well-drilled crew, as indeed are the Dutch. Moving very well off in the first part of the stroke. You'll see them as they settle down into their race rhythm. These are very technically accomplished boats, but the event has really progressed, and it's now very competitive, and it's what really is producing the athletes who will try to break then into the Olympic lightweight double scull.
Good start from Great Britain, but an even better one from Canada. 3 from the bottom of the picture. Melanie Koch and Elizabeth Urbach in the stroke and 3 seat. Then Mara Jones, who's in her time teamed up with Fiona Milne in the lightweight double sculls, and in the bow Tracy Cameron for Canada. And Canada haven't had the best of fortunes at this regatta, so maybe a medal here would raise their spirits.
Well, they're sculling very nicely. There was just a little shot there of them from the side where technically they look pretty good, pretty impressive. Sculls really moving very nicely together. You can see them there now. They don't lie back as much as their male counterparts, who've all got into this kind of technique of lying a long way back in the back of the boat. But here they are still, though, really finishing out the strokes very well. So they're trying to keep their sculls in the water for as long as possible, and therefore propelling the boat, and that's a good philosophy to follow.
Just the Netherlands and Japan trailing at the moment, but Canada, nice rhythm, flowing very comfortably at the moment.
Yeah, they come off the finish very well, don't they? Just look how well they are together. They've clearly been spending a lot of time in that boat together, and they've come here to win, and that looks an extremely effective quad.
Danes worth watching as well, because they've got a very good stroke in Gillian Rasmussen. She was 10th in the Olympic Games in the lightweight double sculls, and she inevitably brings a lot to that particular lightweight quad.
They were second in Lucerne, weren't they? They were second in the Lucerne Cup earlier on in the year. So they've and the Netherlands have a great tradition in women's lightweight sculling as well. But Great Britain is there, holding a very good form at the moment, overlapping with Canada, who are moving very nicely.
Yeah, Naomi Hoekstegger, I hope I've said that correctly, and then Hester Goodsell, Lorna Norris and Tanya Brady, the quartet for Great Britain. As we see the Danes there, Gillian Rasmussen, sitting behind her in the 3-seat, Katrin Olsen, Maria Pertl and Kirsten Jepsen. That's the quartet there for Denmark, and they, I must say, are looking better and better as the race progresses.
Yes, they are moving well. In fact, they're coming up onto the British quad very much in this halfway point.
And that's Denmark's quarter. They were just about the quickest of the quads through that second 500 metres. And there's not much to choose, as you said, between Great Britain and Denmark. France still with possibilities here. Canada able to look to their right to Denmark, to their left to Great Britain. Those are where the dangers are for them at this moment.
But check out how well together they are. Just a little bit late there in the 2-seat as they just pick up the stroke together, but they're holding their form very nicely, and they've got a good swing there as they reach right out. Great Britain there with Naomi's stroke. She was 4th at Eton in the single scull. Good performance from her there. She's Durham University, and she's been sculling very well indeed, sitting there in the stroke seat of this boat. Lorna Norris is from Mortlake in London, and they've come together well as a quad. They're moving well, and they will be really now putting pressure on the current British lightweight double scull, and Joe Hammond, who did well in the single scull. They'll be really looking to see if they can create a group that will produce a world-beating lightweight double scull. At the moment, it's Canada who are the ones who are doing the world-beating, and they're right out in front, stretching out very well as they come into the last quarter of the race.
Now it'll be interesting to see whether Denmark can find just that little bit more going through the third quarter, And once again, Denmark 1:36.67. That's just a fraction quicker than Canada, but they're going to have to find a bit more now, the Danes. Great Britain going through that third quarter, 1:37.33. So they're solid at the moment, Dan, in third place. Providing they don't do anything silly, they look solid enough to get a bronze medal, because the French actually haven't made any progress. That last quarter from the French, 1:39.43, so they're dropping off.
Yeah. The Canadians are at 36 strokes, just under 36 strokes a minute. I will expect them, if they've got to fight off a Danish attack, they're going to start to wind that up a little bit. At the moment, they're sitting strong, sitting pretty there for the last 250 metres. They're not going to get caught. But it's whether Britain can come back on the Danes now, just in this last tiny part of the race.
And we saw momentarily there, Dan, a picture of the Japanese lightweight quad, and this is the sort of boat over time where they should be able to come forward and compete.
If they can continue the progress that they make and don't break off to go into jobs, and because they've got to try really to break through and continue the progress that they make, rather than having to bring on new students all the time.
Well, the Danes are trying all they can now to put maximum pressure onto the Canadians, and little by little they're getting that advantage down, but there's not much water left in which to reduce the deficit. The Canadians are holding on here from Denmark, and they cross the line to take the gold medal. Denmark in silver, Great Britain take the bronze, and it will be the French who come home ahead of the Dutch and the Japanese. So a good race. The Canadians never really headed right the way through. So a first gold medal of the regatta for Canada, and happy smiles from Tracy Cameron, Mara Jones, Elizabeth Urbach and Melanie Koch.